boys and girls from around the world. Welcome back to another episode of In the Huddle. What is it? EP 258. Oh my gosh, we are knocking these episodes out like Mike Tyson did in his prime, bro. I mean, we're knocking these episodes out, and it's going down today because boy, oh boy, we got a loaded show for you today. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the NBA. We're gonna talk about it right now. A lot of things going on in Bucktown, Brooklyn. Okay, listen, we go Buck Wild. Okay, it's not a surprise to me that right now there's a lot of things going on in New York in general. Whether it be the Knicks, whether it be the Nets, because they call us Bucktown for a reason. We go crazy, and there's a lot of madness going on right now in New York. And guess what? We're gonna talk about it on this very damn show. And we also got some NFL stuff for us today to talk about on this show and debate about. Not talk about who we talking. Nah, we ain't talking. We debating because that's what we do. And without further ado, I'm going to go down the panel here. I want to start off with my co-host Zay in the building. I know Zay had a nice venture out to eat today. Okay, he feeling good. My mama made some curry chicken today, so I'm good too. I'm full. Okay, bro, how did you eat today? And what did you eat today? Okay, to enlighten us. And how you feeling today? On top of that.
Hey man, listen, it was just it was breakfast. It wasn't nothing crazy, some eggs, that's all it was.
Okay.
But, when you go to these restaurants, they make it a little more fancy. You got the grilled cheese, you got the herbs and spices. They don't call no salt and pepper no more. It's herbs and spices. Bananas. I just, I don't need all of that. Just give me something simple. Just I need some scrambled eggs, bacon on the side, toast. That's it. The IHOP way. But, it was a little fancier than I anticipated, but it was also a great day. Always in paradise, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything's there. Today is about to be an explosive episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it today and get ready to hear something crazy. That's all I got to say.
And speaking of IHOP, we're going to IHOP to the next guy that we have here on this show because guess what? We had this fella on the show about 2 episodes ago, and he's back. Actually going to be on this show on Friday as well. So, Ryan Jones, glad to have you back here on In the Huddle.
Man, raw mind, raw thoughts on the way, man. I appreciate it. By the way, you said something about curry. Curry is my favorite thing. My uncle up in New York, whenever my aunt comes around, I got to have that authentic curry because they're from the out of states or whatever. So when you say curry, we say curry chicken. I said, my God, like I'm all about all that. So I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I just put some curry on some fish I just fried, right? Not fried, excuse me. Bacon right now. So that's my love for curry. We don't get the authentic curry you guys got. We got something soul down here. But with that being said, man, Raw Mind Sports here. Check me out, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all podcast players, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Let's go. Like Diddy said. Yes, let's go.
See, I don't really like Diddy here on the show. But Diddy's cool. He's cool. It's cool, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's time to get into the show, and we might as well kick it off in Bucktown because it's going Buck Wild.
The most polarizing, fascinating, interesting debate show is live in the huddle.
Up in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving opts in to his $36.5 million option to remain with the Nets. Okay, how should we expect Kyrie Irving's relationship with the Nets to play out from here on? And Ryan Jones, I want you to kick us off, bro.
Raw thoughts right now. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see here. Sign and trade. He had to get the money. He ain't getting it elsewhere. But the shenanigans been going on with Kyrie Irving. Although all of us as fans love him as a player, but on the outside when it comes to business, you know how that stuff goes. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Raw thoughts, sign and trade, going to get this $36 million. Sean Marks may say, look, where you want to go, get him up out of there. Yeah, they may go into rebuilding mode immediately. I don't know what team wants him, but I do know one team that does want him, but I don't think they can afford him right now in this very moment. Sign and trade. If it doesn't go anywhere, then we'll see Coach Kyrie Irving coaching the Brooklyn Nets. That's right, Coach Kyrie Irving. Since he want to have practices outside of, Steve Nash, the handpicked guy they picked. Raw thoughts. That's all I got.
Go ahead, say, talk to me.
It's intriguing that this happened in this fashion because there was a lot of reports coming out that Kyrie Irving was willing to do a mid-level player deal with the Lakers for $6 million. So then it would have been Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis alongside of Kyrie Irving on that team. And then it comes out that he does sign that player option for $36 million, which was a smart move for him as a player. You got to make all the coins you can as a player, as anything you do in life. If you're making money, that's your profession. You got to make all the money you can before you're unable to. So Kyrie needed to make that move. That was the smartest move in his mind. I think he had a bigger market than he anticipated. I think his agent had believed he had a bigger market than what was out there. You know, they thought he was playing the cards, that he was able to just, oh yeah, well, I might look over here and go sign this place, or I might go that place. I might test the free agency, and the Brooklyn Nets weren't buying it. They weren't falling for the old antics. They know what comes with Kyrie Irving already. They've already seen enough of the antics, and they're tired of it. No one's denying that he's a talented basketball player. No one's denying that he's one of the more talented basketball players we've ever seen. But are they willing to overlook are they willing to overlook his antics, overlook everything he brings, all the baggage he brings with his talents in order to bring him onto his team to help them win? I don't think they are willing to do that any longer. And they was like, hey, we're not giving you a max deal. We're not giving you a deal that you think you're gonna get, and you could take it or leave it. You could get your player option, come in, and then we'd rather facilitate a sign and trade that's fair for us as well. Or you just play out that contract and then test the free agency. Right now, it's looking like nobody wants to give him the big bag. No one wants to give him the big money, despite him being as talented as he is, despite having record numbers last season. It's beyond the talent. It's your attitude. It's what you bring. I'm Kyrie Irving. I'm this. I'm that. I am my own entity. I'm all this. I'm not for my team. All right, fine. It comes with a lot of baggage. It comes with consequences. So if you want to be your own man, you got to face the consequences like your own man. And unfortunately, this is what's happening now. One of the more talented basketball players the NBA has ever seen is being blackballed from every other team because of the antics that he's portrayed over the years in Brooklyn Nets. It's sad to see, but unfortunately, we don't know what to anticipate from this Nets and Kyrie Irving.
I think when you look at what we should and how we should expect this relationship to play out, it's very intriguing, because clearly it's a fractured relationship right now, and they can say all the positive things that they want, in front of everybody. But we all know behind closed doors, these are parties that are not seeing eye to eye. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Kyrie Irving is a very unique individual. He's not your go along, get along type of individual. Let's just call it what it is. And there's some good to that, and there's a lot of bad to that. And we could talk about both retrospects in a minute. When we talk about Kyrie Irving, let's not forget that this is a guy that went to the Celtics after leaving Cleveland, okay, and then left the Celtics, and went to Brooklyn. So it would have been a bad look on Kyrie Irving's part if he left the Nets to go to the Lakers, because now you're talking about leaving another franchise, and now we have that big rap sheet on your resume of you being a mercenary, and now you're forced to make it work in LA, and that's probably the last option that it would have been. But now, Kyrie Irving, when you talk about the relationship, clearly there's a mutual disconnect for a lot of reasons. Number one, a lot of it has to do with Kyrie Irving being unavailable. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Injuries and also the vaccine mandate. We all know that's a big thing. And there's a lot of people that's probably not going to really understand Kyrie Irving for that. Right. And I respect it, because as a business, right, your main thing when you own a business or anything you own is making sure everything is up and running and everything is being pushed out so we can make our dollars. That's just the mentality of owning something. Right. OK, cool. And most people, they are about making money and making sure that, food is on the table, this, that, and the third. Now, when you have a guy like Kyrie who's willing to come out and say, you know what, listen, I don't want your money. Find me. I'm not going to take this vaccine. Now it's looked as this guy's an alien, because most people, when they take stances, whether or not you agree with it or not, all the business had to do is say, listen, I'm going to take that money from you, bro. And you're done. It's over. And most athletes or entertainers fall victim to it. All right, listen, I ain't about to lose this money, so I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do. Look at Andrew Wiggins. Okay, I'm going to take the vaccine. Cool. Guess what? I'm going to win a championship. Now, you can say Andrew Wiggins, I mean, he did it for his team. Yeah, he did it for his team. But guess what? He still took that vaccination. But that's not Kyrie Irving's reality to follow what Andrew Wiggins did. His reality was, listen, I don't want to take the shot. I don't feel comfortable taking a shot. I'm not going to take the shot. You can have your money. I'm going to do things my way. Okay, cool. Now, the problem with that is that there's a lot of people that's going to be affected because of that, right? And all due respect to Kyrie Irving, I stand with the guy, but there's going to be ramifications for that. And now, when you look at Kyrie Irving, honestly, when you talk about the relationship and where he could potentially be in the next couple of years, he could potentially be home, blackballed, done, finito. Because at the end of the day, number one, Kyrie Irving, you allowed this reputation of you to transpire before we got to the part where you say, I'm not taking this vaccine. Now, had it been another way, now you can make changes. Now you can make political statements because now people is not going to say, well, guess what? This was his rap sheet before this. So he's just a guy that's just being an asshole and trying to be hard-headed. You know, that's why you got to make sure, I always say as an individual, in more direct terms, as an African-American, you got to be like the 72 Dolphins. Your rap sheet better be undefeated, bro. Do anything bad in your life, you better make sure that you are the 72 Dolphins in your resume. Because guess what? The moment you try to come out your shell and go against the grain, guess what? It's going to be a stain that people are going to bring out. And they did that with Kyrie Irving. So when we talk about the fractured relationship, it's not only fractured with Sean Marks, it's not only fractured there, it could be fractured with the league. Nike already made their statement saying we're going to take our endorsements away from you. I think the NBA will be next, and that's unfortunate.
Raw thoughts. It's a lot with Kyrie. You pretty much said a mouthful, and that's what I need to get into. Like with his situation, raw thoughts here. If this was LeBron saying no to a vaccination, this is a whole different game. The thing with LeBron, though, LeBron doesn't be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't do anything. The only thing we talk about is him trying to be better than Michael Jordan. Well, Kyrie Irving had a problem in Boston, ran up out of it. Now he finally got to Brooklyn. You know, he always got to go other places. It's always something. Then he always hurt. You know, and I know we can't help injuries. Like when people put that stuff into play, they look at you like, are you really that enough? Can you carry us to a championship? Kyrie Irving can't carry us to a championship by himself at all. He can't do that. He's extremely talented, but he just can't do that. And people look at it. They look at the rap sheet. Now he's not getting in trouble off the court, but it's the headache you're providing with inside the business and inside the organization. That is what hits people, and that's what hits him. His situation there and the way he's going about it is a certain way, and you're not bringing in championships, not making it better. So when I looked at him and LeBron, I mean, we all know it's an easy comparison, not a great comparison because that's LeBron. They'll probably say in this situation, but I'm saying it from a level of Kyrie Irving had trouble in Boston everywhere he went. LeBron never has trouble, although he's the main face, but you never see him like going in to a point where he's not going to take a vaccination, just say I'm just going to be done and I'm not going to do this. LeBron even took the vaccination. I mean, LeBron could have said no in LA. He still took it, you know. So I'm saying like people like that look at things from a bigger. When the owners of the NBA look at our big stars doing these necessary things. If these big stars say no, Kyrie is a star. But when I say big stars, I'm talking about like right now Steph. I'm talking about LeBron, regardless of his situation. You know, you're just talking about random guys who really are like even a Greek freak right now at this moment that are just big franchise players like you got to have. You know, these guys and, you know, KD, of course, still took it regardless of the situation. You know, so when you look at these guys that are taking it, not giving a lot of headache, Kyrie Irving, regardless of his situation, I understand, believe what you believe in. I ain't got anything against what you do. But the real problem is he's a headache. And when you become a headache to anyone, I don't care if it's vaccination, anything in life, it's just like raw thoughts if you had a girlfriend that got on your nerves from back in the day. Your ex, she was a headache. But what did you do? You found your way away from them. Unless you just was held by the balls, raw thoughts, or you just had to just be in and just do what they had to say.
I know a lot of friends hold by the balls.
Right.
I know a lot of friends right now. A lot of friends.
So
salute to them brothers. Good luck.
Outside of that, like that's the real problem. The one word that describes Kyrie Irving, headache. I think it ain't necessarily just about the vaccination. He is just a headache at this moment. And mentally, when you're mentally drained from something, what you're doing in life, whether it's sports or whatever, I'm just going raw thoughts with this. Mentally drained. When people get mentally drained from something, you is cooked. They ain't trying to hear nothing else you say. I don't even care if it's something good. It's over.
I think, you know, one thing about Kyrie Irving is that as much of a star, because I think he is a star player in his league. He's just a fringe superstar. And when we say a fringe superstar, his talent is there, but the accolades aren't. You know, when you was by himself and when he went to the Boston Celtics to be his own man, to be like, all right, I got this team. He had a good structured team around him. He couldn't do it. The team succeeded without him. And then when he went back onto the team to become this superstar, to become the guy to push the Celtics beyond that Eastern Conference Finals that they lost to the LeBron James, to push him into that finals regiment, he couldn't get past the Bucks, and when Eric Bledsoe was locking him up. And it was a different type of time when he left. It seemed that he was not willing to face adversity, and he was running from it. He was running from the fact that he had to face adversity instead of facing it head on. So when we look at Kyrie Irving and all these different situations that happened where he didn't want to share the time with LeBron and Cleveland, and he didn't want to share the spotlight with Tatum and Brown and Rozier at the time in Boston, and then he goes to Brooklyn, and now it seems like what's the excuse now? You know, it seems like every time he's faced with adversity, and I guess now it's the front office. Every time he's faced with adversity, instead of facing it head on and kind of taking the bull by the horns, he's tucking his tail and running away. And that's one thing that's weird, because Kyrie Irving always has something to say. Isn't that rather it's a cryptic message or if it's straight on? Kyrie always has something to say, but for whatever reason, when the going gets tough, he runs. It's not that the going gets tough and he faces it head on, because it's easy to sit there and be like, if you're Kyrie and, the vaccination, that's not an easy decision to make, but it's easy to say, well, I just won't play. He's well off. Kyrie is well off. He made more than over $100 million, $200 million in his bank account. He could sit out and he'd be good for life. Him playing the game of basketball and him having to play was a decision he didn't have to think hard about. All right, I'll sit out. I don't need the vaccination. I'll play because I know I'm gonna play eventually. I just don't need it right now. That's fine. But he's leaving his teammates out to dry, and he didn't take to account. I want to play basketball games out of my teammates here. He took into account that's my health. I don't want to do it. Fair. That's fine. Great. Down the line, all this stuff that's coming out, and the front office not liking it. He's like coming out with these messages and confused on, how could the front office do this? Well, you left their organization out to dry. They want to win games. They put you on this court. They gave you the money to win games. So when it comes down to contracts and you only played 100 games out of 3 seasons, how could you expect them to get a bigger contract or give you a contract extension when you're not playing games? And you're taking all this money and you're not playing games, just sitting out a month and a half each season.
There's a lot of players that haven't played games. Zion Williamson. I mean, who's that, bro? Who's Zion Williamson?
He didn't get the big contract. If he gets the big contract, that's a whole other thing.
He might be getting the big contract. That's the sad part about it. He haven't been playing no games. Anthony Davis, where the hell has this guy been? Does he even like basketball? He hasn't been playing games. So look, there's a lot of players that really haven't been playing games. John Wall finessed the league. Ben Simmons finessed the league. It goes on all the time in the NBA. But when you talk about Kyrie Irving, look, at the end of the day, he made a decision. And, like I said, there's no wrong or right decision. And I think anybody will be foolish to say he made the wrong decision by sticking to his guns when it comes to that. But at the same time, there is ramifications. That's something that we all can agree on, that there is. And right now, clearly, he's facing some of those ramifications. My big thing when it comes to Kyrie, and this is my last statement, then I'm done, is the magic word for me is 60. Can he give me 60 games this year? You barely played last year. Okay, I think some of those games that you didn't play should actually work in your favor. Being exited round 1 should work in your favor. Think about all the games the Warriors played because they won the championship and participated in the championship. Think about all the games the Celtics played, right? When they had to turn their season around, guys, they couldn't load manage. They had to play every single night, and they had to play hard in game 7s in the playoffs. Kyrie Irving, you're well rested. The magic word is 60. Give me at least 60 games. If you could give me more, perfect. But your record hasn't shown that you could give me more than that. But if you could give me 60 games, then I think this team right now, if they get a Kyrie Irving with 60 games played, they get a healthier Kevin Durant, they get a Ben Simmons whose back is feeling a lot much better, okay, then now they add on to the roster and figure out the free agents. You got Andre Drummond, you got Bruce Brown, you also got Nick Claxton. You figure and build this team around your core 3 along with Joe Harris, and then maybe they can override this, and maybe this is a bump in the road, so many bumps in the road, leading to a team that should be the favorites to come out the East alongside the Bucks, alongside the Celtics, because guess what? Where else do you see talent at? Miami, Jimmy Butler gonna do it by himself? Okay, when you look at the 76ers, that's another crapshoot right there. That's another joke right there. I mean, they were right here, and guess what? They should be over there come the end of the season. So I'm not sure the fractured relationship could play a role. He still could get traded. It's not out of the ballpark. Okay, that's the vaccine to a dysfunctional franchise is winning.
And raw thoughts before we get off, so I'm gonna get this in because I don't know. We probably move to the next segment. At this point, and I hate to say this, and I'm gonna say raw thoughts, so this may be a clip that's gonna be referred to me all the time. At this point, if he does leave Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets are about to become the New York Knicks of New York. Raw thoughts.
I mean, they're more dysfunctional right now than the New York Knicks, bro.
My last take.
Really? Go ahead. Last take. Bring us
My
on.
last take. Kyrie Irving has a lot to prove to this Brooklyn Nets organization. Not only the organization of the Nets, every organization. This is his tryout year to show us that he is a team player. He's willing to work with the team, operate, and show us what he can do on this court. We all know he's talented. It's about the behind the scenes. It's about what he's willing to do with the organization, with the coaches, because this could be his tryout where he leaves the Nets. I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think he wants to sign back, but this could work out in his favor if he has a good season. For me, it's not about winning or losing a championship. Nothing. If he has a good season, he has a good rapport with his teammates, coaches, front office, everybody working on all cylinders. This will be a good year for him to go somewhere else and continue playing basketball. Because right now, no other market wants him, and that's the daunting issue. Kyrie Irving might not be able to play basketball in his prime. That's the scary part.
And it started with him opting into his $36.5 million to remain on the roster. So he took initiative. He took the money. He opted in. And let's get it in. We'll be back after these brief messages. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all not getting tired of watching In the Huddle over and over again. So like and subscribe to the channel and receive these new notifications of new uploaded content that will be coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.